Here is a Mazda CX-5. Before we get started though, let me give a quick shout out to Naya Motors Inc. for letting us use the car today to film the videos. They are a used car dealer here in Ottawa, Canada. Check out the link in the description for their entire inventory. Now let's go ahead and get started. Open the driver's side door, pull the primary hood release lever there. Now in front of the vehicle, right on top of the Mazda emblem, a little bit to the driver's side to the left, put one finger in there and push it. Yep, lift up the hood. This hood requires a prop rod. Get the rod out and put it in that slot with the arrow marking it, like that. Pull it back, and you're good. Now once the hood is open, that right there, that's the main fuse box cover. There's one clip in the back, so press it, and then we'll lift up and get the cover off at an angle. The cover has to clear that clip over there. Yep, that one. So lift up the cover at an angle and get it off. Underneath the cover you'll find the spare fuses and the fuse puller. So let's just get the fuse puller out first. Now let's look at the fuse diagram there. You'll find one that says R outlet 2. That's the fuse that controls the power outlet in the central console, the one that's inside the central console. That's the one, the 15 amp fuse. So very likely the problem that's causing it to not work is that it's a blown fuse. So what we'll do, I'll show you. I'll pull my fuse. My fuse is good. This is a good fuse because the metal part is not broken. If it's broken, then it's a bad fuse, and that's likely what the problem is. So what we'll do is we'll get the 15 amp spare fuse. So let's go ahead and get the 15 amp spare fuse. You can use a fuse puller or you can just use your fingers to get it out of there. And make sure this one is good, right? So check out the middle part of this. This is looking good. So now we'll put this 15 amp fuse back where the original one went. And that should hopefully solve the problem. See, when I put it back in, power comes back on. And now inside the car, that's where the secondary fuse panel cover is. So pull it and get it out. And now in there you'll find a bunch of different fuses. Let's focus on this one. It says R outlet 3. R outlet 3 is for the one in the cargo area. See what happens when I pull the fuse? The power is gone. And it's the same idea. We are just going to be checking the fuses and check if they're good or bad. If yours is a bad fuse, then we have one 15 amp spare fuse, and we'll put the spare fuse in there, and hopefully that solves the problem. That's the same idea for all the 3 power outlets in the car. Put the fuse back on, power's back on, and now finally for the F outlet. This is the one that's right by the dash, by the gear shifter. When you pull the fuse for that, the power's gone. We'll check this fuse. All my fuses are good. That's why when I pull the fuses, the power goes, and when I put the fuse back on, the power comes back on. In your case, again, if it's a bad fuse, get the spare fuse, put it back in, and that should hopefully solve the problem. Always replace a 15 amp fuse with the 15 amp fuse only. Don't replace it with anything else, or it will cause a whole lot of other problems you don't want. When you're done, put the cover back on. Just align it like that. And then let's just push it and secure it in place. Put the fuse puller back in. And now let's put the cover back on. Now when you're putting the cover back on, make sure that clip in the front, it goes underneath that clip. Yep, now that is good. Now you can just press on the top, secure it, and you're done. Now in order to close the hood, first push it, get load off the prop rod, get it out of the slot over there, put it back in its place, lower the hood, and then slam it shut. Hope you found it useful.